On this episode of the CREducation podcast, we welcome Tim Reid from CBRE to talk to us about his experience growing up in the industry in the Idaho market. He shares some great personal stories as well as lessons learned in commercial real estate. We're excited for you to listen to episode 21 of the podcast.
So welcome to the CREducation podcast, episode number 21, with the infamous Tim Reid with CBRE. Yeah, we're happy to have you.
I like it. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're coming out of retirement for this one. We've taken a little break, and that's my fault because I had another baby.
Paternity leave. That's right.
Congratulations.
Paternity hiatus.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
6-month-old Vienna.
Vienna. Beautiful.
Vienna
Sweet.
Vella Campbell. So now I have a Vance and a Vienna, so that's good. 2 V's. The VVs. I like it.
VCs.
Yeah. So, venture capitalist kids. That's good. Yeah.
2 VCs in the family.
Yeah. So we're here with Tim today, and we've actually talked for 15 minutes leading up to this podcast. So it's good. We got our voices warmed up, and we're ready to go. So Tim, kind of how we had kind of preluded and talked before, like it'd be fun to talk about kind of your career and how you've seen changes in your career and how you've also seen personal changes throughout your career, and then how the Valley has changed throughout watching the Valley change, right? Boise has been an incredible place, and right now I would say we're on the map.
Sure.
Yesterday I heard that we have the Micron project is the biggest project in the country going on right now.
Wow.
In the entire country going on right now.
Fascinating.
So, that's a key item that Boise is real, and Boise's here, right? And you went, I don't know which one of you guys, or if either of you guys were at the economic forum that Stuart Title put on, and Idaho has had the #1 job growth in the nation too the last 2 years. Idaho and Florida are tied for #1. And so people are coming here, people are visiting Idaho, Boise's growing, we've seen it. But how did it all start, Tim? Where did it start? Before I was in it, before Taylor was in it?
Well, I've only been here 30 years, so it's
Yeah.
I'm not a native by any means. So but yeah, so looking at the things from early on in my career, so I got here in the mid-90s, and literally Boise's never stopped growing. I mean, since I've been here, and I moved here from New Jersey. I was an environmental engineer in New Jersey. That's what I did. I moved here. My oldest daughter, who's now 30, was less than a year old, and moved here without a job. Pioneered it. Knew no one. Knew nothing. Met a guy. He said I should get into commercial real estate, that I'd do well. And literally 2 weeks later, I was licensed, and I've been doing it ever since.
Wow.
That's...
Do you owe that guy a shout out? Who was that guy?
That guy's name was Ron Bath. He was with Coldwell Banker Commercial, Aspen Realty, which Coldwell Banker Aspen Realty was the largest residential brokerage in the state at the time. A guy by the name of Larry Laraway. I was short-lived there because then Jim Boyd recruited me. The very first deal.
Jim. Yeah.
Yeah. Jim is, oh my gosh, what a beautiful, just stand-up guy. The very first deal that I did, Jim was on the other side of it. It was a lease deal. And I remember when he recruited me, and I'd only been here like a year and a half, 2 years, and he recruited me, and he goes, he had just started his own business, J.L. Boyd Company, and he said, "Who was that nice young man that I did that deal with? I'd like to talk with him." And he recruited me, and he officially, he gave me a fancy title. I was a vice president of office properties for J.L. Boyd Company, and that officially made me in charge of myself.
All right.
Right then.
And it was just, it was great. And just from there, and many iterations since then, but starting out as a broker, and we were talking a little earlier, I made my living doing 1,500, 2,000 square foot office lease deals in town when there was, 12 million square feet total.
Yeah. What'd the landscape of Boise look like at that point? Oh my gosh.
It's, if you can imagine, Dave Evans just got going with his kind of concept of his small office buildings, the 2,500 to 5,000 square foot office buildings. And, in like 3 or 4 years' time, he built 3 million square feet of that around the valley. So a lot of that. But yeah, there just weren't big deals. If you were on the street with anything over, I would say 3,000 to 5,000 square foot office deal, it was a big deal in town.
That's wild to think about. Now we're seeing 50,000 square foot.
Oh yeah,
100,000 square foot deals.
Yeah,
industrial obviously, but
yeah,
there's 20,000 square foot office deals getting done.
Oh yeah,
every day.
Yeah, it's not that it's totally second nature here. I think we still lack that major city office deal stuff, but they're here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we've seen it change, right, with BVA's developments on 10 Mile and more stuff being developed downtown. It's like as it's gotten to change, the Raffnally Nayhouse stuff. And
I was Tommy Alquist's first commercial broker when they did the deal up there on Eagle Road and the freeway when they were Gardner Alquist. And that was in the middle.
Yeah, you've seen partnerships change. You've seen a lot change. So yeah, if you have to think back over the last 30 years, if you had to summarize some of the biggest changes to Boise, like why have we been on such a rampant growth pattern, in your opinion?
It's just a great place to live. And you mentioned family and new babies. It's everybody who comes here talks about how clean it is, how safe it is, how easy it is compared to where they might be coming from. And I think this fact to be true, that Boise has had a net positive in-migration since I got here 30 years ago, every year, even during the recession. And it was...
And the recession hit this area hard.
Sure. And it's interesting, but you see it now. I mean, people are actually vacationing in Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
Come out here in the spring or the summer and walk down 8th Street, and you got families walking down the street, and you're like, wondering what they're doing here. They're actually coming here to vacation to Boise.
Yeah, they're floating the river. They're going up to Bogus Basin. They're hiking around. They're
It's fascinating.
Visiting all their loved ones that moved here from SoCal.
And it a lot of it changed, that first Fiesta Bowl and the rise of BSU football and stuff. There was, kind of put us on the map, and we'd be doing real estate deals, and everybody'd be like blue turf. It's like they,
Oh, there was a real effect there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting.
So as a market, we've changed, right? We've changed as an environment. We've changed as a community. How has that changed the face of commercial real estate from what you've seen? Because you've had a pretty prolific career.
Sure. I mean, we're sitting in Banner Bank building here, and it's, Gary Christensen, Winston Moore, and Sundance Company were like the only game in town if somebody was building an office building. I mean, that was it. And, Gary started with 9th and Idaho downtown and then built Banner Bank here. But those were huge deals back then. And people are just wondering, like, who's going to fill these buildings? And they talked about bringing Class A tenants, and most of the Class A tenants at the time were out in Park Center because Albertson's headquarters and Arida was out there. There were a bunch of other, vendors and stuff out there that had Class A office space, and everybody said, no, you'll never get the Class A tenants from Park Center to come downtown because of parking and all these things. And Gary Christensen kind of proved them wrong with 9th and Idaho and got Sedgwick in there, was the anchor tenant at the time, and then Merrill Lynch, and Merrill Lynch is still in there, 25 years later. But I started my career in the building across the street with Jim Boyd, or a couple of years in, and saw the first, spade of dirt turned for 9th and Idaho, and watched it out my window go up and fill up. And then, so I would say the biggest difference that I see now, and this is like my 5th disruption in my 30-year career. Y2K.com, COVID, the recession. I mean, it's, and they're all a little different, but they're all kind of the same. You mentioned, Taylor, that, we got hit hard, but, we always get the hit, but it's not as hard as most markets.
Right.
And I think that's always kind of been the fact. But every one of those disruptions, our market has grown in like bigger investors, bigger developers, like everyone. And COVID was just over the top.
Yeah. Somebody said the other day, I was in a meeting with multiple guys, and they said disruptions are good for commercial brokers. We don't like stagnancy, right? We don't like status quo. It's like when things are really good or they're bad, people make decisions about commercial real estate or about real estate in general. And so it seems to be that disruptions can tend to be opportunistic times for people that position themselves well.
Oh yeah, and I think there's always a deal to be had, and it just needs to move up or down. It's kind of like the stock market, commercial real estate. As long as it's moving, there's an opportunity there somewhere, and if something's going to trade, and whether that's in the title world or the debt world or the equity world or just investor world, 1031s and activity brings activity type of thing. But the biggest thing that I've seen, I would say, in the last 5 years since COVID is just the institutional capital that has come to the Valley in a big way. Of course, the CHIPS Act with $15 billion at Micron, the Meta deal. I mean, you could go on and on. What's happened here in the last 5 years kind of, I think, takes Boise as a city and to the next level. But in commercial real estate, really the type of capital and deals that we've never seen here before.
And to build on that, you're now working with CBRE, and so you have access to a different type of clientele than maybe you did when you were with Jim Boyd.
So just a little bit different.
So you're seeing it. You're seeing it a little differently, right? You're seeing the game a little differently, and you've worked for a couple different flagships throughout your career, and so now that you're with CBRE, what kind of when the conversations you're having with national financiers and national tenants, what are they saying about Boise?
The same. One of the things that's happened with the contraction we've seen over the last 24 months is that a lot of the institutional capital that was flooding here has definitely pulled back because they have other opportunities in tier one markets and markets where there's opportunity. But everything's pretty much slowed in the last 18 months. But, CBRE, I mean, I don't think a lot of folks in Boise realize how big a deal that is for the market regardless. And CBRE is not like my face or anything. It's like the institution of it. I mean, we touch everything commercial real estate, and we have a tremendous amount of internal research and data that is, we were talking a little bit about AI. What we're able to do just with our aggregated internal data on a national level is it's real time. It's amazing. And I learned something new. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I learned something new that CB has every day. I'm like, oh, we can do that. And we can really kind of touch every bit of it we own Trammell Crow, which is, the largest engineering and construction company in the world. CB owns them outright, and has for years. We just bought Industrious, which is, I guess, a competitor for Regis on that type of, flex type space. And that it's all public stuff, but I think we paid $800 million for that. But that's part of our portfolio. But from debt and equity and everything that we do, it's the whole gamut. And I think that's one of the interesting things for me, coming from J.O. Boyd Company in my early career, really understanding what, when somebody mentions capital markets, how that plays into commercial real estate. Debt and equity. I mean, it's the fact that it's commercial real estate. It's really a capital markets deal. It's like the movement and capital and investment. And so at any given time, you could be, putting your shekels in whatever bucket gives you the best return. And historically, there's a great upside in commercial real estate. So I think that's the interesting thing. I would say opening the CBRE office, we opened with 4 people, and I think we have 20 now at the office, and that was 4 years ago. So that's interesting, but it's, we're still all local guys here doing deals, and we all know each other well, and we all do deals together, and, title companies, and everybody knows everybody. And that's what I love about this market. You can have a very competitive business, and everybody knows everybody, and it's fun to do business here. It's kind of why people come here to live. I think that nature is Idaho and Boise driven. So whether you're in commercial real estate or title or construction guy, or you're an insurance guy or whatever, that's Boise.
It's like a very humane, competitive environment. Like everybody's kind to one another.
Absolutely.
And rooting for each other for the most part.
Yeah.
And if you're not that way, you stick out pretty fast too.
You do, yeah.
You kind of learn. Yeah.
Which is, you're right. That's why people come here, right? People nod at you and shake their head on the street and shake your hand and ask you where you're from, what you're doing, and It's just kind of the Idaho way.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys do it. I mean, we're active in the business environment, and when we walk down the street for lunch or whatever, I mean,
it's awesome.
Especially if the three of us walk down 8th Street in the summer when everybody's out there, I would almost
You wouldn't even
guarantee
make it down
that
8th
each
Street.
of us are saying hello to the same people that we know, and we're probably saying hello to 3 different people. So, I mean, just think of that, and that's Boise, Idaho. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
It
good.
captures it to a T.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I want to pick your brain a little bit on the AI conversation. That's a hot topic across industries, but especially in commercial real estate. What are some ways that you're seeing CB invest in the AI landscape, and how's that impacting the work that you do?
Yeah, we have an internal AI deal that, it's gone into all our data. So it's all this aggregated data across the country. So we ask it something, and it gives us this data instantly that's real time and accurate data. It's not like chat or something where we're going out to the internet and you kind of have to scrub it to make sure it's the right info or whatever. It's our proprietary data it's fascinating. And I'm not like I'm not a dinosaur yet, but I'm just a little bit behind that technology curve, so I'm not like totally engrossed in it.
I feel like we all are. I feel like it's changing so fast every day. You need to be like a somebody who's piloting it, right, to really understand it on the front end. I don't know who's ahead of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's certainly changing our industry. I think I love this. Like at the end of the day, it's my opinion that we're human, and it's the human interaction that is what life's about. So it doesn't matter what business you're in, and I think there's AI as a tool and used right to help with that. I love it. The part where you go on LinkedIn or something and you don't know whether it's real or not, I could do without it, quite frankly.
Right. Yeah.
But I always try and bring it real. And everybody says I talk too much, but I love to have conversations with people and just ask them questions and learn about them or their new family or what they're doing. And I love your stuff. Your stuff is real. You're hunting and your stuff.
Thank you.
And the stuff about your dad and stuff that, that's not AI.
Right.
It's technology and stuff. And you may have things that help you, but I mean, like to me, that's what it's all about. But there's a lot of fodder out there that you kind of just like, whatever. I think, even if you think you have a competitive advantage in this business because of data, statistics, and AI, I think you're missing it because it's about, like for example, if you took downtown Boise and said, okay, Class A office vacancy rate is, 8.9%, right? It's like, well, that's great. Anybody can pull that data, AI, you can put it in there, you can throw it up there and just sound all smart and stuff. But what buildings, why, if you need 35,000 square feet downtown contiguous, how many buildings can you go in? And, in bigger cities, you may have 10, 20 choices. In Boise, Idaho, when somebody comes in and needs Class A office space downtown, 35,000 square feet contiguous, and they said, oh, there should be space. There's 8.9% vacancy. We can go, get a real good deal. And you say, well, there's only one building you can do that in. And so what's the real vacancy for Class A office space downtown for a 35,000 square foot user?
Whatever it is in that building.
That's right. So like those are the things that AI is not going to just give you.
Yeah, and it can't, right? It's real broker knowledge, which you get from relationships, talking to the brokers and intermingling
and knowing the landlords and knowing what's coming available and knowing who's leaving and who's given.
It's the organic stuff. It's the stuff that you can't put technology on.
Yeah, it's not recorded yet. It's not so and so's giving back X amount of square feet. It's like. So that's what I mean kind of by that human touch. And I think it's, and we know most of the, commercial brokers, we all know each other. It's like, the ones who kind of know that granular or that competitive advantage / knowledge.
I always
base.
keep saying it's a science and an art, right? Like you can use these tools for the science part of it, but there's an art to relationship management. And once you're working with a landlord or a tenant or a buyer or a seller, the data isn't going to help you learn how to communicate well.
Oh yeah, that's kind of that human element I mentioned. I mean, and that's why I love it here. I mean, it's like, there's so many times like I'm doing business and I'm not even thinking about business.
Yeah, you're just living life,
And,
being with the people you
Around
want.
good people.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh yeah,
that's right.
absolutely.
Those are the clients we all want over.
Oh right, and like get 10 of those, and if they're trading out enough and stuff in our world,
You're gonna be pretty
there's-
busy. Yeah,
there's a pretty good career in Boise, Idaho, right there.
that's right.
So
That's the recipe, everybody.
right, yeah,
Yep.
there it is.
That's what the
Remember,
recipe
you heard it
everybody
here
wants.
first.
Yeah, I would love to have just the 10 core, just great ones that people work with. But there's guys that do it, and it's pretty valuable. So we had talked a little bit. One of the things that I kind of wanted to talk to you about, and it's a personal topic, right, is how to go through. You went through a significant health challenge, and I truly think you handled it like a boss and like a champ. I mean, I wasn't there with you through the whole process, right? But the stories you've told me and kind of your testimony about it, and I think there's some lessons to be learned there from people who are in their careers, they're successful in their careers, and they also have had health challenges or family challenges to overcome. And so as I think about how to frame the question,
Sure.
I think like if you're comfortable sharing, like what was the health challenge you went through? How did it frame your perspective on your business coming out of it? And how did it also change your perspective on life being in the commercial real estate business or just in business in general?
Wow. That's pretty heavy, man.
Yeah, it is kind of heavy. Yeah, I was a therapist for too long. Right? But
Wow.
Let's unpack these things.
This is therapy.
Yeah.
But those are- I
this
think-
is okay. Good.
I think
Then
that's
can
the
open
real
up.
stuff, right? People listen to podcasts and they want to hear real stuff.
Sure.
Like, I want to hear the real stuff.
Sure.
Right? Like, because we all have to deal with this concept of our health.
Sure.
And we all have to deal with this concept of doing business. And at any point, any one of us can suffer from something, right? One out of every 3 people gets cancer nowadays. And so we're all going to deal with some kind of challenge or a loss of a loved one or something like that. And so
Yeah.
if you recall my questions, I guess, or you can just talk about it.
Oh,
freely.
sure. I mean, it's easy. I mean, like, I'm just a believer, number one, but a firm believer. Like, life happens to everybody, and that's good, bad, or indifferent. And it's like it's kind of what you do. You know, if you really drill down on what you have control over. You know, I see many people in my business. They think they control every part of the deal. I'm like, yeah, you control some things. The one thing you don't control is the outcome, right? So you could be on your game, you can get up. And it's weird, you know, I used to look back and older guys, they seem to get up earlier, right? And like it's happening to me, you know. I'll be 60 this year, and it's like, I'm like up at 5 o'clock every morning, like ready to go. I'm like,
How did this happen?
ready to go to do what? I don't know, you know. It's like I'm ready to go. And I said it earlier, I'm like the busiest guy doing nothing. Like sometimes I'm like so busy I don't even know what to do. And then I end my day and I'm like, what did I do today?
Yeah, yep.
But it's like moving the ball forward. So, you know, you bring up cancer. So and maybe I'll kind of tee it up with it. You know, I was married, a childhood sweetheart, you know, married with the same woman for 30 years, married for 21, get divorced. I'm divorced for 12 years. I meet a beautiful woman. It'll be I met her almost 3 years ago, but I'm be celebrating my second marriage, but my second anniversary, March 17th.
We love
and this
it.
is
Congrats.
March, what's today, March 14th?
Yeah, I think so.
12th.
12th, March 12th.
Taylor knows.
So yeah, so in 5 days, and so I meet this woman, and you know I'm divorced for 12 years, single guy, happier. Business is good. My kids are good. I got 3 girls. They're all grown, but my kids are good. I'm living the life of Riley. I got not a care in the world. I meet this beautiful woman. I honestly, it wasn't love at first sight, but I knew that I was going to marry her. I mean, like this is the one.
That's
She's
awesome.
totally outkicked my coverage. She's got 2 master's degrees. Her whole family are educators. It's just this, like I'm like thank you God for putting this in my life.
Yeah.
And so I get I get married March 17th, 2023.
3? Yeah.
Yep. And so we go to visit. She's from Hawaii, born and raised in Hawaii on the Big Island. She's a haole, so she's Caucasian.
Yeah.
Her parents are back there, and we go back to visit them, and we're there. You know, I'm working, and it's great because I'm up early, and you know,
You're
my
earlier
day's
than
over
here.
by 10 o'clock, and I've accomplished a lot, and so I'm working, and so I get a sore throat, and you know, we're on vacation, so last week in June, I guess, and it kind of just thinking I'm getting sick or whatever, run down, tired, and sore throat doesn't go away, so I come home. just about it, kind of like thinking I'm going to get sick here. So it's like a week and a half time frame. And so sore throat's not going away. And then all of a sudden, it was like a Thursday, I felt a little bump on my neck, and my lymph node was a little swollen, but still just thinking I'm getting sick. And I don't go to the doctor or do anything. So
yeah, you're an average male.
Yeah, right. And so I'm thinking like, oh, whatever. And then, so that was a Thursday. And then Friday, my lymph blew up like, honestly, like half the size of a baseball, like in overnight. And
Yeah, you're like, this is serious.
oh yeah. And I don't get scared, but I was kind of like, whoa. So I went to urgent care, and from that day, so that was, I think, the first week in July, maybe, 2023. And just like every week, like to the doctor. Now, mind you, I didn't tell my kids. I didn't tell my wife. I'm doing this all on my own because I wanted to know what it was, what I had to do. And this is just my mentality.
Yeah.
And so it was like every week was just not good. And they're like, well, we're going to send you here. So like, it was kind of like Wednesday to Wednesday type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a aspirated biopsy where they took like 9 samples out of my neck, and my neck swelled up, and I'm like walking around my house hiding it from my new wife because I didn't know what it was yet. And then we drove to Denver to see my new stepdaughter. Her daughter's working in Denver and staying there. And I'm there. I forget the exact dates, but I'm there. We went to a Colorado Rockies-Yankees game. I'm from the East Coast and have been a Yankees fan my whole life. So we went, my stepdaughter, my new wife, and I, to the game on Saturday. They wanted to go shopping on Sunday, and there was another, afternoon game. So I went to the Yankees game by myself at the Rocky Stadium, having a blast. Get back, I'm doing some work at the kitchen table, and get a call from the doctor, and pretty much tells me I have cancer.
The call you don't want to get, yeah.
And he, went into this technical and everything, and was very stoic and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, do you understand what I just said? I'm like, yeah, I have cancer. What do I need to do? And he goes, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Like, what?
I'd like to know what the action plan is.
So it kind of kicked off from there. But I had ended up with the diagnosis of what they call head and neck cancer. And I had cancer was on the base of my tongue and my tonsil. And it was called squamous cell carcinoma P16 positive, which that P16 positive was a big deal because P16 doesn't have such a great outcome. But P16 positive is related, I'll just go into the HPV virus, which, and if you Google Jamie Dimon and Michael Douglas, it's the exact same cancer that they had. And the thing with it is it's a very curable cancer, but it's extremely difficult to get through. And so 37 rounds of radiation and 9 rounds of chemo later, I'm cured. So thank you, Lord.
And I remember you were saying like your mood through the thing, like you were a joy to the.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You made sure you came in and. So
my brand new wife and I set up my appointments, and I was at the hospital literally every day for the radiation, and I set my appointments up for 7 a.m. so I could be the first one in and never be delayed by a doctor being behind or anything. So, and my wife and I decided that we were going to be a ray of sunshine to the Cancer Institute at St. Luke's, which did a phenomenal job and love everybody there. But we went in with a positive attitude every day and kind of brought that cheer in the door with us. And she was there with me every day, and we did it. And it was, I'm a believer, so I believe that God did that to me to do something. I don't know all the answers yet. I just believe, and one day I'll know, and it'll be great. But so we did that, and pretty brutal to get through. But before you even start treatment, they cut me open, put a port in, and put a feeding tube in where I have something hanging out of my body that is pretty foreign. But that was before they even started anything, and I was just like, and it's kind of like not a question of if you're going to be able to swallow or eat or even drink water or whatever. It's like when you're not able to, that's already in, so it's not as cumbersome. But yeah, it's really weird, and I don't know if it's just me, but I told my kids and my wife at the time, I told them all on the same day when I knew what it was, that everything was going to be, and I honestly just absolutely believe this. This wasn't like the positive, the power of positive thinking or anything. It's like, everything's going to be okay, and I'm not afraid. And it was really weird. And I promised myself I'd never be a cancer survivor or a cancer victim, if you will.
Yeah.
And I just looked at it that way. It was just something that life threw at you. And I pretty much went to work every day that I could. I got a couple comments like after the fact. It's like, dude, you were like gray when you came in. And it's like, but and there's, like I said, life happens to everybody. There's a lot of people who go through a lot of stuff, and whether it's health issues or family issues or psychological issues or just you were a counselor. It's like, and it's I don't know why I look at life this way, but it's easy for me. So
it's a peace that surpasses understanding, is what you had. It sounds like just a peace in the storm, and that's a blessing. But it sounds like that you were able to find the right things to focus on throughout the time. And so how did your view of life change before and after this? Or has it?
It's funny. I've said to a couple of people, like, that experience has changed me, and I don't quite know how yet, because you knew me before that, and so did you. I've kind of always been that guy, I think.
Really positive. Yeah, ready to tackle whatever comes.
Yeah. And but it has, and I don't know whether, I listen a little better, give a little more love, a little more patience, a little more understanding of, and I don't sit and just think about this, but what's really important, and we've talked about, you and I have talked about this at some lunch. It's like when you said you were overwhelmed and stuff, and I was like, it's like your family and like the important things. And I think the three of us, I think from at least what I know of us, it's like we kind of do a pretty good job of that. So,
try to. I think at least what I could say is that all of us are intentional about making the time for it. That's, that could be a whole podcast on itself, is like trying to find whatever people call the balance. I've heard people say there's no such thing as balance. Try to find balance, whatever you want to call it. Trying to be an effective leader in both business and your home, and whatever that is, right? And trying to be successful in both areas. And I think it starts with intention.
Absolutely.
If you want to be that, then you're going to try to be that.
And it's kind of like what I said. It's like life happens to everybody. It's like I don't believe in work-life balance. It's like you have to do it all.
It's
right?
life.
So
all of it's life.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just like life, and I don't know if I think this is great. I didn't think we'd be kind of getting into the philosophical part of any of life, but it's there's struggles, there's things that you need to work, you need to produce, you need to do those things. And by that, I don't mean money and your job and everything. I think, you need to work, you need to give back, you need to do all those things, and how you do that, and how my wife called me a hippie, and, I'm live in the reddest state in the country. I'm a pretty staunch Republican. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but it's like, maybe I'm a moderate, but, and, it's real interesting that, she called me a hippie, and I'm like, what do you mean? And she goes, you just have this way about you. And and she goes, that's what the hippies did or whatever. Because one day I said to her, I'm like, life should just flow. And she's like,
what does that mean?
Yeah. And I'm like it's not that it should be easy or whatever, but it should flow. We all have an energy, I think, and we're all out there engaging the world, right? And it's like, I think it's designed to flow through you, through us, through all that. And I believe that. So maybe I am a hippie.
Well, I think you're hip.
I don't know about any of that.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate hearing it. I think as you're talking, I'm picking up kind of a metaphor, right? For what you're saying about life and commercial real estate. Like in our career, there's a lot of things you can't control. And a lot of times you do get punched in the mouth and you don't see it coming. And so you chose, after getting punched in the mouth, to say, what's my action step? How do I get through this? What do I control? What can I control? And then how can I also improve people's lives around me while I'm going through this, and come at it with a moment of positivity? And I think those are good key skill sets when we talk about commercial real estate in every aspect, right? In title, in law, in development. And you're never going to get through I shouldn't say never. A lot of the times you're going to get roadblocks, and you're never going to come out unscathed.
Sure.
There's always going to be something that doesn't go the way you think it's going to go and that you want it to go. And so you have to learn to be able to find the icing on the cake and be positive in those situations. And if you do, I think that's how you do find the flow, right? It's when you're pushing against it, trying to get your own way, or accepting, like thinking that there's some kind of predetermined path that should be easy for you, and that's what justice is, or that's the way it should be. That's when you kind of run into trouble.
Yeah, I agree. It's and I mean, we're in an industry, I mean, on the real estate end of things, it can be stressful, and it's like funny because like Catherine, my wife, asked me like, doesn't that bother you or whatever? I'm like, no. And she doesn't get it. And it's like, I mean, it's interesting. We've all lost a deal or something that we really worked hard on or whatever and stuff. And you see things that are like, you didn't see that coming. And to your point, I mean, it's just like anything. It's like, how do you learn and grow, right? How do you not let that happen again? Like, what are the steps that, where did you go? And, we all make mistakes, and, you got consequences or repercussions from that or whatever. But, I believe that there's no right and wrong, really. You make choices, whether it's personally in life, in business or whatever. You make choices, and they have, there's a reaction to that. And sometimes you hit a home run, and sometimes you get hit by the ball, Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's just, that's the life part of it.
And you've gained wisdom. One thing I appreciate about you is you've gained that wisdom, and then now you've chosen to give it back to people around you. Part of that is being part of the Massimo coaching program, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a famed program within our field, and you're a Massimo coach.
Yeah.
And you also kind of take people under your wing in the local market outside of Massimo and kind of give unofficial coaching guidance. And so why has that become something that you've wanted to pursue? Why the coaching aspect?
Well, I mean, I think I've always given back. I mean, I started, the jail boy thing. Well, George Iliffe bought Colliers right after 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally that month, he bought Colliers and moved here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like, and so that's when George came to town, and Al Marino was over there, and George immediately started recruiting, and Al and I had known each other briefly in the industry, and essentially George recruited me, and I went over to Colliers for a couple years. And then I left Colliers and started my own, well, it was a national flag brokerage, but we were independently owned affiliate. But I owned Grubb & Ellis with a couple partners, bought them out, grew that. Then during the GFC, Great Financial Crisis, and the recession, 2008, 9, 10, 11 even, Grubb & Ellis was publicly traded on New York Stock Exchange. I own the independent affiliate here. They filed bankruptcy because of the Great Recession, and we sold 50% of our business, merged with Dave and Chuck Winder and Leanne Hume, and we all came together under the Grubb umbrella, and 40 days later, Grubb filed bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. We lost our flag. We sold half of it to Cushman Wakefield Commerce out of Salt Lake, so we became Cushman & Wakefield at the time. It's, Cushman Wakefield today is that lineage. So it's just kind of how it got there. And I'm sorry, where were we?
No,
I lost.
Yeah, how'd you go from like those kind of steps up to the coaching space now?
To the coaching space. So with that being said, I mean, so when I left Colliers and formed Grubb & Ellis, it was 3 partners and a part-time receptionist. And we were growing that. So and Grubb & Ellis had a really good training program. It was a 26-week training program, and if you hired a new broker, they sent you a 3-ring binder.
Wow.
And it was 26 weeks. And so I trained, we recruit a few agents, and most of them were brand new. And so I would take them through the training program. So I just learned early on to just share and pass on what I knew and how to be successful in this business and stuff. So, who's COO now, Mike Gallegos at Massimo, was doing some consulting work for a group that we almost merged with before I joined CBRE from out of state. And he called me and he said, would you like to coach? And he kind of gave me now, Rod, when we were Cushman Wakefield Commerce in Salt Lake, Rod hadn't even started his coaching business yet at all. And he was our keynote speaker down in Salt Lake for just our company. Mm-hmm. And he kind of had some things in play. So I remember that's cool. And I had kind of already been doing that with Grubb just because Grubb had a training program. So I've kind of always done that. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said earlier, I think I really love it to see other people be successful. There's something, honestly, that, I almost, I don't even think about my own. It's like I love to see a young person and all my daughter's friends and stuff. It's like, Mr. Reid, you should start a school, they used to say to me when they were in high school, be driving them to the movies or something. Because I would take the opportunity to go into history lessons and why things are the way they were. So then naturally I've been doing commercial real estate for 30 years that, what I'm well versed at blabbing about is commercial real estate. So offering little things. So the Massimo training, Mike asked me and I said, absolutely. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. They don't give you any brokers in your market because competitive stuff. But so I have, clients all over the country that, I get on the Zoom call with and take them through the Massimo program.
I met one of them. She liked you a lot.
Oh, Heidi?
Yeah.
Oh, she's a rock star.
Yeah.
But so it's just our lunches, she pays me to do that, every month for her, twice a month actually. But and it's so I just kind of give and it's funny. I love to see people take things that and I love when, a mentor of mine or something says, you should do this or whatever. And I'm like, huh. And you do that. And I just like that. So the Massimo thing's been great for me. It takes a lot of my time. So, but I just love giving back. And I always have. And I've always kind of, in my brokerage world, either I've given away a lot of business with the expectation of none in return, and the big man upstairs has always made sure to pay me back, and it seemed to work that way for 60 years now. So I think I'll keep doing that.
It's a good go-giver mentality.
That abundance mindset is huge.
Absolutely. I think we all think like that. It's like, but it's a competitive business, and anybody can join Massimo, and I think this. If you go through his program and you're not making money, there's something definitely wrong. Yeah, you
just didn't follow it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Commercial real estate's not an easy business to be successful in, but what you need to do is pretty simple. And if you do it, chances of success are pretty good.
And you have the ability to make informed, true relationships, because if you're authentic and you know who you are and what your desires are, and you have an abundance mindset, those things all help.
Yeah.
Rod was on the show. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know.
On this show.
I did not know that.
Yeah, at the CREI Summit.
Oh, really?
Years ago.
He was one of our hosts, or one of our
That's
guests.
cool.
That was actually a really fun conversation.
Yeah.
He's living on
vibrant.
the cutting edge always. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
he's
big
talking about AI. He's all over with that AI right now. But again, he always says it's a supplement to your relationship.
Can't
it won't ever replace it.
connection.
We have ways that can help you be more competitive in your brokerage community, but it's always going to come down to a relationship.
Yeah, he jumped on AI really early. I was a coach when it first came out, when chat first came out, and he was on it, and he's never taken his foot off the gas with where it's going and how you use it in our industry, and it's pretty fascinating. So,
well, we've asked everybody this from pre. Was it pre-COVID? It's not pre-COVID though. It was pre-financial.
Pre-name change. Yeah.
What do we call it? It was
from the very beginning.
Pre-interest rate change is what I would say.
Right.
It was when interest rates were hot. Yeah. So
Right.
interest rates have changed.
I don't think we're ever going to see those again. That's a reality that's setting in. But Where do you think the market is going? I don't know. Nobody has that answer.
Yeah,
right?
what's your
But
crystal ball say
Yes.
about this?
what do you
market?
think about our market
Yes.
in the next 5 years?
Yes.
Just full yes.
No, we have a tremendous amount of data, like I mentioned, within CBRE and some of the greatest economic minds on staff that work for CBRE. And we're constantly predicting and driving and, based on real-time data that we have. But that aside, if you're asking Tim Reid, like what Boise, Idaho looks like, I think we continue to grow. Like I said, we've had a net immigration for the last 30 years. When I got here and started in this business, Micron was really hot then too. I think they did something different. They were still making computers when I got here. But, a lot of the local people ended up out at Micron, and Micron was doing really well, and they got, their annual bonuses, and the car dealerships and new cars were going off the lot and stuff. So it was a very interesting environment then. And, that was when Steve Appleton was still alive and running the show. And then, they've morphed and, the chip industry is up, down, all around. But but I think Micron and Albertsons, the fact that they're not merging now with Kroger, I guess, is I think that, could be a net positive. But, it's jobs. But you look at what we have in the Valley and where it's going, I think, what we see is positive growth. When I think the year I got here, the population of Idaho was, I think, just over 1 million, and it's now just over 2 million. And 85% of that growth is within 35 miles of where we're sitting.
Right here.
So when you look at that, it's like I don't expect that to change. I do think with the administration change, regardless of where you sit politically or whether you believe it's what needs to happen or not happen, I think the next 6 to 12 months is there's going to be some unexpected consequence to the change that we see. Earlier I said, it's really just capital markets. It's where this capital goes. With our debt situation and stuff, and now I'm talking way over my ski tips, but with the debt situation and stuff like that, it's like, get used to where the interest rates are now. Figure out how to make deals work for your clients. If you're a commercial real estate broker and you're not schooling yourself on capital markets and what's happening with the 10-year treasury literally daily in some instances on what that is, especially if you have a deal that's, 5, 10, 15, $20 million and it's under contract and you're not paying attention to that, that's what's going to make your deal fall apart in the last minute. And I don't care if they have $250,000 hard or $500 or $1 million. It may be the best $1 million they ever let go, but they'll cancel a deal, the smart ones. And I've had that happen in the past, which is painful. But so I think, where's it going to go? I think multifamily will come back. I hate to use the word strong, but we need places for people to live if we're going to have this net immigration. We've got, national home builders now, competing with the Corey Bartons of the world. They have major credit facilities where they're able to buy down rates for new time home buyers, that, a lot of local people don't know exist if you're not buying a new time home. But, I heard the other morning, I think I was telling you earlier, Taylor, that, you can get a 3.5% mortgage with these new home builders.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, so everybody's like, 6. But, when I bought my first house in New Jersey before I moved out here 30 years ago, I mean, I was at 14% interest and it came down from 16. So I thought we were doing really well.
Yeah, ideal.
So different times, and value, you could. But prediction-wise, I think we'll continue to have a strong in-migration, both business. I mean, we've got BSU, we've got the state capital, we've got a beautiful place to live, we've got, CWI, we've reached that self-perpetuation point where the growth inside the valley creates jobs. We've got, we're going to be met with layoffs and everything just like everybody else, but probably not to the magnitude of some other places. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question where it's going in any detail, but
Overall, pretty bullish.
yeah, I mean,
I think that's
and-
most people I talk to, both regional and national. I think people are still betting on Boise. We still have the strong pillars of success within our community, and people want to live here. There's a lot of workers. There's strong jobs. Just a great quality of life. People want
Yeah.
to be here.
Well, I mean, you're a broker. You're in it every day. It's like, I mean, deals are just harder to put together. Deals are just harder to make stick. There's less people. I mean, think of where we were 4 years ago.
It was
I
crazy.
mean, they were blasting down the doors with more capital than they knew what to do with, and they needed this and go find that and do
You
that.
had to
And-
have it because you had to spend that money because
Oh my
they knew
gosh.
how good the rates were.
Absolutely. So it was, and you know, that's changed. But I mean, like I said, I've been through 5 disruptions in my career, and they're all a little different, but they're all the same. The market ebbs and flows, and you know, I do think that the COVID effect for Boise, Idaho, was a massive net positive for so many reasons, and it opened it up to, you know, remote working. It's like, you know, I was talking to the gal who's running this place. Their whole company's remote, but it started here in Boise, Idaho.
Right.
And we're sitting in a facility here in Boise, Idaho. It's the first one for kit in the country, and the next one they're opening is in Chicago. I mean, like, when was the last time you heard
Boise
we started
was first.
in Boise?
Yeah,
Was, I mean,
right.
like, so we have a lot of good things going for us. Yeah.
Well, you have any other questions, Taylor?
No, I think we covered a lot of the good stuff. I mean, what you talked about with regards to Idaho and what makes it attractive as a market, you know, being authentic and real people, like, that's why we wanted to have you on the show, Tim. It's been awesome to hear your story. And I know we threw you a little curveball about the personal story, but
you
awesome
know.
to hear it. I think the listeners will enjoy it. And how can people get a hold of you if they want to follow up after the show?
Well, I'm at CBRE, but 208-850-5001. It's the same phone number I've had since the day I got here.
I love it.
So that's it.
Give them a call.
Yep,
That's all.
tim.reid@cbre.com.
Awesome.
And just, I mean, maybe I'll do a little self promo. It's like all I do is investment sales now. So, but I do know a thing or two about office leasing. So if anybody has any questions on that, I'm certainly available. But I'll probably refer the actual transaction out to somebody, maybe someone like Dre.
I don't think Seabury would let that happen. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's all right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks
Happy
for
to have
having
you.
me. This was great.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And